Welcome to everyone to this last lesson of the course English for European Project Management. This course is a free course reserved for members of UNGDCEC and IUYA, organized by Unione Giovani Dottori Commercialisti ed Esperti Contabili di Monza e Brianza, Unione Giovani Dottori Commercialisti ed Esperti Contabili di Milano and Unione Giovani Dottori Commercialisti ed Esperti Contabili di Bergamo. This course was supported by IUYA, International Union of Young Accountants, and it's organized in the memory of Carlo Scotti Foglieni. Carmine Pacente, member of the European Committee of the Regions in Brussels, and Anna Di Domenicantonio, EU Project Manager, Confprofessioni and EU Public Affairs Specialist Apri Europa, will speak at this lesson. We have decided to support My Name is Helper, a non-profit association that provides education to children in Watamu, near Malindi in Kenya, to finance the construction and the maintenance project of the building administration in the name of Carlo Scotti Foglieni, who is a dear colleague that is no more with us. Now we start with our lesson, and I want to share with you this video.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here at the hemicycle of the European Parliament, and welcome to you too online. Take a moment for the photograph.
No, it's there, right?
Over there.
This way? We look that way. Oh, okay.
Can I just...
Wow. I think they can better.
Now, if all goes well, I would like to bring in Carmine Pacente, member of the Milan Municipal Council in Italy. Mr. Pacente, I should say, is joining us online from the City Council in Milan. And before we go to him, I need to inform you that a strike action has been called by the interpreters. Consequently, some of the languages might not be available when remote speakers like Mr. Pacente take the floor, but all should be clear. Mr. Pacente, happy to see you there in Milan, and I understand you're not alone, that the Council is with you, if I'm not mistaken. The floor is yours, Mr. Pacente.
Good afternoon, and it's a pleasure and an honor for me to be here, of course. Thanks to the European cohesion policy and its programs, for example, the national operational programs for metropolitan cities here in Italy, or the European Social Fund, the European Regional Development Fund, but also the Urban Innovative Actions and REACT-EU in Milan. In the last programming period, 2014 and 2020, we co-financed projects for around 200 million euro. Urban mobility, social infrastructures, social services, urban regeneration. But I'd like, in few words, to focus on one example that, in my opinion, is really important. We co-financed also in our town public showers for homeless people in different public spaces of our urban areas, with a budget of around 3 million euro. More or less half from the National Operational Programme for Metropolitan Cities, and on the other hand, half from REACT-EU. This is a clear example, in my opinion, in our opinion, that the European solidarity in action, also in a rich town, in a rich urban area, such as, for example, Milan. As you can imagine clearly, as you can understand clearly, it wouldn't then be possible without the financial support of the European cohesion policy. And as you know better than me, the social problems, the social challenges, the social differences are increasing also in our urban areas, also in Milan. So I think that in the next programming period, we have to strengthen the urban dimension, the metropolitan dimension of the European cohesion policy. And here in Milan, we have some ideas for working together. Thank you very much for your attention and greetings from Milan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pacente, and ciao a tutti in Milano. Bye.
Thanks, Dr. Carmine Pacente, to be here with us. Please, Robert, read for us the presentation of Carmine Pacente. I'll share with you the website, so you can read for us his presentation. Please read it. Now I share. Okay, can you read it?
Yeah. Can you make it a bit bigger? Yeah, that's good. Very good. Carmine Pacente was born in September 1978 in Vallo della Lucania in the National Park of Cilento, Vallo di Diano and Alborni, SA, which is
Salerno.
Salerno, that's right, yeah. It's always like a quiz, isn't it, to guess the
near of Naples.
Right, okay, Salerno, yeah. Graduated in economics at Bocconi, he obtained a master's degree in public management at SDA Bocconi. After his thesis in Berlin, he collaborated with the ISPI of Milan, Institute for International Political Studies. He was then responsible for the European service of the province of Milan. In 2014, he collaborated with the Ministry of Health on the National Strategy for Inland Areas based on European Structural and Investment Funds 2014 to 2020, commissioned by the Under-Secretary of State. He is currently head of European Policies and Planning at LIA, legal entity appointed representative of the Metropolitan City of Milan. Author of 4 publications with the Egea Bocconi Publishing House, Europe of the Cities, Milan Capital 2017, The Role of Local Authorities in European Planning 2014, The Metropolitan City in the European Union 2013, The Local Dimension of Community Policies 2012, with a preface respectively by the Mayor of Milan, Giuseppe Sala, the European Commissioner Johannes Hahn, Gianni Pittella and Enrico Letta. Complimenti. In recent years, he has carried out numerous reports on European funds at universities, local authorities and research centres. Since 2019, he has been president of the European Department of ANCI, National Association of Italian Municipalities in Lombardy, and since 2020, he has been a member of the European Committee of the Regions in Brussels, and in particular of the Commission Territorial Cohesion Policy, Structural Funds and European Budget. He was elected to the City Council of Milan in 2016 and 2021, and is president of the Council Commission, European Funds and PNRR. Congratulations. That is a very impressive CV.
Oh, thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me to be here, of course, and thank you for your invitation. Yes, you introduced myself. I'm a member of the City Council of Milan and president of the Commission for International Relations, EU Policies, and especially European funds, structural funds, cohesion funds, and the National Recovery and Resilience Plan. Since 2020 to 2025, I'm a member of the CORE, the European Committee of the Regions in Brussels, as you said, and in particular in the Commission COTER, Cohesion Policy, European Budget, and European Cohesion Funds. That means European Social Fund, European Regional Development Fund, European Territorial Cooperation, as you know, such as, for example, some programs as ESPON, Central Europe, Alpine Space, MED, Interreg, and etc., Central Europe. And I'm a president also of the EU Affairs Department of ANCI, that is the Association of Italian Municipalities here in Italy. I was elected twice to the City Council of Milan, first time 7 years ago, the second time last year, and currently I'm the president of this commission. But professionally and not only institutionally, I work on these topics, the European policies, not only the European cohesion policies, that is my core business, but also the sectorial policies. That means, for example, for digitalization, Horizon Europe, or for environment, life, or for citizenship, CERV, the new program of the programming period 2021 and 2027, or Creative Europe, and we can continue, but I think that is sufficient. As you know about the CORE, it was founded in 1994 in Brussels, so more or less 30 years ago. And in the intention and the proposal of the German government, this body represents the second chamber of the European Union. So we have the most important institutions, the European Council, the European Commission, of course, the European Parliament, and the second chamber in the intention of German government, because there were some problems, the second chamber of the European Union that represents the European regions and the European cities. So officially in Brussels, this is the organism, because it's not an institution by treaty, but an official body of the European Union that represents the territories through the regions and through the cities. As you know, we have in Brussels also other networks, Eurocities, Metrex, but the official body is this. Our president now is from Portugal, Cordeiro, and we work on the cohesion policy, that is the core business, not only of the CORE, the Committee of the Regions, but also of the program of the new president. Our mandate is 5 years, and as in the parliament, the first part of the mandate, the president is expression of the European Popular Party, and the second part of the mandate of the European Socialist Party, or the contrary, of course. So Cordeiro now is an expression since a few months of the Socialist, and the first vice president is Apostolo Tsitsikostas, that is the government of an important region of Greece, of the Popular Party. I work in the Commission COTER because I'm convinced that the cohesion policy, I can spend some words about the cohesion policy, I think, because it's really important in my opinion. And we work a lot in the CORE with the European Parliament and especially with the European Commission on this core business, so our mandate. Because as you know, this policy is the 30% more or less of the European multi-annual financial framework. 30, 32, 29, it depends on the programming period. If you add the agriculture, that is more or less 38, 39, 40, you have the 76% of all the multi-annual financial framework. So these two policies, cohesion and agriculture, are the biggest, are the most important, are in the institution and in the competencies of the European Union. The Committee of the Regions works through 6 commissions. Commission on cohesion policy, European budget and cohesion funds, COTER, but also a commission on that works on environment, ENVE, economy, ECON, agriculture, AGRI. So the most important, citizenship, CIVEX, the most important pillars. The most important European institutions, so a council, a commission, and the parliament, are obliged to involve the Committee of the Regions on the legislative process that have effect on the regions and cities in Europe. It's compulsory, and we work through the opinion, official opinion, that we create in the commission and then in the plenary, because we work through commission 6, but also through the plenary. More or less every 2 months, there is a plenary session of the core, so 6 more or less per year. And every month, the commission, COTER, CIVEX, and etc. We vote because we are an expression of European political party. Renew, the Green, the Conservatory, the Socialist, the Popular Party, but we are an expression also of the delegation of the single member state. For example, I'm expression of my political party in European Union, but also of the Italian delegation. The same my colleague from Portugal, from Germany, from so the mechanism is more or less the same of the European Parliament. And the plenary session is in the room of the European Parliament, because we are brothers, more or less. So, and we are recognized by the Treaty of the European Union. The experience is really interesting, in my opinion, because especially, this is in my opinion, in the relations with the Commission and the General Directorate of the EU Commission, in particular, when I work in the COTER, I give you an example just to understand better. When I work in my commission, the COTER, we work with the colleagues of the European Commission of the General Directorate for Regional and Urban Policy, DG Regio, Commissioner Ferreira, General Director Lemaitre, or Director De Michelis, just to give you some examples. And this is the most important part, in my opinion, because they prepare the dossier that the European Parliament, in a co-legislative process with the European Commission and Council, approve. But the most important job is prepared by the General Directorate of the European Commission. So I have a lot of relations with these people, civil servants of the European Union, because I think it's strong as opinion, but it's my opinion. So I give you, they are important more than the elected in the European institutions, because they prepare the dossier, they know the dossier, they give you the information when you need. So, and this is the most fascinating job, in my opinion, in Brussels, because I can give you some other example. The cohesion policy for the next programming period in our country, in Italy, means for the European cohesion funds. Now, the European structural and investment funds are called cohesion funds. They changed the name in the programming period 2021 and 2027. In Italy, we have 42 billion euro in Italy, not the European Union, without the national co-financing. plus the REACT-EU, that is one of the most important pillars of the National Recovery and Resilience Plan of the Next Generation EU, that is 14.4 billion euro, we will have around 56 billion euro without Italian financial sources for the cohesion policy and of the European funds in Italy, in our regions, in our cities. What does it mean, for example, in my town, for Milan? For Milan, REACT-EU means 82 million euro that we have to spend in 24 months. We are obliged because the rules are these. So 82 million euro for green and for social projects. And we have to invest, not to spend, to invest these sources until the end of 2023. So in 1 year, we have to close this program. But it means, for example, for the cohesion funds, so from the European Social Funds plus now the European Regional Development Fund, a new program for the metropolitan cities in Italy, and also for Milan, of course, the national program, because also the national operational programs changed the name, not NOP, but NP, so without operational now, the next programming period, but we will have 150 million euro in our town from the cohesion policy through the national program for metropolitan cities for the next programming period. So for the next 6-7 years, because as you know, until the end of 2029, we have to invest also this money. So when you prepare in Brussels this dossier, I gave you 2 examples, REACT-EU and the cohesion policy and the national program for metropolitan cities. Generally, people think that we talk about something far from the daily life. In concrete, when you arrive in the town, in the territory, in the urban area, it means financial sources, it means projects, it means social investment, social infrastructures, social services, digitalization, urban basis, green basis, because I can give you a lot of examples. In Milan, the last date that I would like to share with you, between the National Recovery and Resilience Plan, that means also REACT-EU, of course, and the cohesion policy in Milan, we have today 1,020 million euro of European funds of investments. In Milan means in the municipality of Milan. And we can increase this amount because there will be other call for proposal that we have to submit other projects. So thank you very much for your attention, and I hope to keep in touch for next events. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carmine Pacente, for being here with us today. And we'll have other opportunities in the future to talk about these important themes, perhaps also in Italian. We wanted you to be here with us because you can give us your witness. And I want to ask you, what do you think about the language, English language used in Brussels? We talked about this, about the fact that the English language spoken in Brussels is something different because it's particular. Robert, can you share this meaning with me, please? We can't hear you, Robert, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
It's English, but it's like European English. It's like when you have Italian food in Britain or America, it's Italian, but it's kind of, you know, it's not Italian food. So language, it's not English, it's European English. And as you can all hear, Carmine speaks really good English. Congratulations. Your English is very, very good. Yeah?
Yes.
So basically it's a working language.
Yes.
Isn't it? It's the main working language of the European Union. Yeah. And if you can't speak English, it's quite difficult, isn't it, to operate in Europe, in Brussels, because even though we are not in the European Union anymore, our language is, you know, it's what do you think, Carmine? It's essential, isn't it? Speak English.
I completely agree with you, and thank you very much for your kindness, because this is an European English. My accent, my Italian accent, or colleagues from Germany is a different English, or from Portugal, or from Austria, or but this is a European English that means a language for our job. And with different accents, with different slang maybe, but I think that more or less is a good English. But the teacher is Robert, so this is only my opinion.
We've talked about this in some of these classes. Things like, for example, when you speak with a native speaker, we use things like idioms, phrasal verbs, and those are, you know, interesting, but they're dangerous, because if people don't understand, the most important thing is when you speak, people can understand what you're saying. That's the main thing, especially like you say, where people are from all different countries and they're not native speakers. Really important to simplify your language, also because what you're talking, the content is really complicated. So it's really technical, complicated stuff. So you want the language to be as simple as possible, because it's already complicated, isn't it? It's already you know, difficult to understand the whole picture. And accents, even English people, British people, Americans, Australians, they have accents. So everyone has I have an accent. Yeah, I've got a sort of typical South English accent. So the way I speak English is with an accent. Everyone has an accent, and your accent isn't important. The important thing is your pronunciation. You can have any sort of accent, but people must be able to hear the words. So accent is not the same as pronunciation. And it's nice when you hear people speaking in different accents, especially in Europe, where you've got, you know, people from Italy and France and Germany and Portugal and Austria, you know, they're all speaking English, but they're all, you know, using their own national accent. What do you think? Do you agree?
No, I completely agree, because this is my experience, my daily life in Brussels. So there are different English with all these characteristics, but more or less we talk 80%, 90% of the English of native speakers. So yeah. But important is the pronunciation, the grammatic, I think, because and I think it's sufficient more or less, because we have to work with this language in Brussels, English or sometimes French, but sometimes German. English 94% of the.
So if you can speak English well, it's enough to work in Brussels with colleagues.
It depends, because a lot of our friends or colleagues speak in the native language, because we have the interpreters in the commission or in the plenary session. there are 15, 17, 16 different languages. So I think 60–70% of people speak in their languages. Yes. But if you speak in English, it's better.
Okay, you speak very well.
No, thank you.
I like
well done.
to listen to you. Thank you again, Carmine Pacente, to be here with us, and see you next time for other opportunities of studying together. Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a nice day and weekend. Ciao.
You too.
Bye. Now we have Anna Di Domenica Antonio. She's an European project manager of Confprofessioni and European Public Affairs Specialist of Europa. But she has the problem and she can't be here with us today. She told me we will have another specific lesson with her to talk about a project, in a European project she followed in recent time. So now we'll go on with the lesson, reading a document. I want to share it with you. Robert, can you see? Can you see it?
Yeah.
This is an example of EU grants application form. This is our last lesson, so it's important to understand how an application form is. Now we want to listen to you, because we want to understand the correct pronunciation, and we have so the opportunity to see how an application form is done.
Mm-hmm.
Where can you find these application forms to have grants from European Commission? Do you remember I told you in the first lessons we can find everything about direct funds on this website. I show you it again for a moment because it's important to remember this point. Yes. Okay. Do you remember we have already studied this website, this portal, funding and tenders opportunities. Here you can find everything you need to work with European funds, direct funds, but also tenders. We have already seen, for instance, that if we want to check a possibility, a project of a specific program, we have to check here in this part where you can find all the EU programs, and now we want to work about the program LIFE, Program for Environment and Climate Action. If you click here, you can read everything about this program, and about the calls for proposals. We speak in Italian about bandi. In Europe, we speak about calls for proposals. You check the call for proposals here. And if you want to, for instance, to check what are the call of tenders, what are call for proposals, you can read this website and you find everything, the projects, the results, how to participate. Now we want to read a specific document. This is the application form, so we can memorize the pronunciation of the terms. Read, please, Robert, for us.
Important notice, that's the title. What is the application form? The application form is the template for EU grants applications. It must be submitted via the EU Funding and Tenders portal before the call deadline. Deadline is the scadenza. The form consists of two parts. Part A contains structured administrative information. Part B is a narrative technical description of the project. Part A is generated by the IT system. Robbie, can you make it slightly bigger? Well, brilliant. Excellent. I'm going blind. I'm getting old. I can't see anymore. Here. Oh, it was bigger before. You made it small again.
Yes, but then you can see no more the whole page.
No, that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's perfect. Like that. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, part A is generated by the IT system. It is based on the information which you enter into the portal submission system screens. Part B needs to be uploaded as a PDF plus annexes in the submission system. How to prepare and submit Part B. The application form must be prepared by the consortium and submitted by a representative. Once submitted, you will receive a confirmation. The templates to use are available inside the submission system. Please note that not using the correct template may lead to the inadmissibility of your proposal. Use the correct template. To ensure a proper evaluation of your project, the appropriate sections of the template must be filled in, depending on whether the call has 1 or 2 submission stages. For stage 1, concept note, some sections are not applicable, noted as NA. NA means not applicable, N/A. For stage 2, full proposal, all sections must be completed. You can submit your proposal in any official EU language. The project abstract or summary should however always be in English. For reasons of efficiency, we strongly advise you to use English for the entire application. Character and page limits, either call documents, supporting documents, can be provided as an annex and do not count towards the page limit. Minimum font size, Arial 10 points, page size A4, margins top, bottom, left and right, at least 15 millimeters, not including headers and footers. Please abide by the formatting rules. Please follow the rules, keep to the rules. They are not a target. Keep to the rules. Keep your text as concise as possible. Do not use hyperlinks to show information that is an essential part of your application. If you attempt to upload an application that exceeds the specific page limit, you will receive an automatic warning asking you to shorten and re-upload your application. For applications that are not shortened, the excess pages will be made invisible and thus disregarded by the evaluators. That's like an exam. When it says, 5,000 words, that's it. Don't do more than the question. Please do not delete any instructions in the document. The overall page limit has been raised to ensure equal treatment of all applicants. Removing the instructions may result in your proposal being considered inadmissible. This document is tagged. Be careful not to delete the tags. They are needed for processing. Technical description, Part B, cover page. Part B of the application form must be downloaded from the portal submission system, completed and then assembled and re-uploaded as a PDF in the system. Page 1 with the grey important notice box should be deleted before uploading. Grey is grigio. Please note, please read carefully the conditions set out in the call document. For open calls published on the portal, pay particular attention to the award criteria. They explain how the application will be evaluated. Then you've got the form, project name, project acronym, coordinator, contact, name, organization. Then you've got the table of contents. They've got a mistake in their Microsoft Word table of contents. They haven't put a hyperlink in for this bookmark. Administrative forms, Part A. Technical description, Part B. Cover page, project summary, blah, blah, blah. So this is all the introduction.
Robert, we have not more time to read everything, but I want perhaps you to read this index so you can understand what kind of themes are treated there. And then we have Michela Pellicelli. She will talk us about My Name is Help.
Okay.
So we have 10 minutes and you read this part, and then we speak with Michela. Thank you.
Okay. From the top, from table of contents. Table of contents, administrative forms, Part A. Technical description, Part B. Cover page. Project summary, relevance. Background and general project objectives, specific project objectives, compliance with life program objectives and call topic, concept and methodology, upscaling results of other EU funded projects not applicable for concept note, complementarity with other actions not applicable for concept note, synergies and co-benefits with other life subprograms, NA, synergies and co-benefits with other EU policy areas, NA, impact, ambition of the impacts, credibility of the impacts, sustainability of project results, exploitation of project results, NA, catalytic potential, replication and upscaling, implementation, work plan, work packages and activities, work package 1, work package timetable, stakeholder, that's a really important word, stakeholder engagement. Engagement means coinvolgere, impact monitoring and reporting, communication, dissemination and visibility, resources, consortium setup, project management, green management, budget, risk management, other, ethics, security, declarations, annexes.
So this is important because with this index you can have the idea of the main important themes you have to consider writing a project. And now I can see Michela Pellicelli. Hi, Davide Rovetta, the president of Unione Giovani Dottori Commercialisti ed Esperti Contabili di Bergamo, one of the three organizations who have organized this great course. Ciao, Michela Pellicelli. Ciao, Michela, non ti sentiamo, poi
Ah sì, scusa. Ciao, ciao Robby, ciao a tutti.
Ciao Miki, ciao, grazie per essere qui con noi. Michela Pellicelli, past president dell'Unione Giovani Dottori Commercialisti ed Esperti Contabili di Bergamo. Oggi è la tesoriera di My Name is Help, l'associazione alla quale abbiamo deciso di devolvere i fondi raccolti con questo corso per realizzare un progetto al quale noi siamo molto affezionati, perché abbiamo deciso di devolvere questi fondi per la costruzione e la manutenzione di un edificio costruito nel villaggio di, adesso ci racconterà Michela, in questo villaggio in Africa vicino a Malindi. E questo edificio è stato costruito ed è stata apposta già una targa in memoria di Carlo Scotti Foglieni, che presentarvi un attimo in foto, giusto perché gli vogliamo molto bene, non è più qui con noi ma è sempre nel nostro cuore, nei nostri cuori. Un attimo, perché ci tengo molto a salutarlo mostrandovi una foto che gli ho scattato in occasione di uno dei congressi nazionali. Eccolo qui. Ecco, ciao Carlo, grazie per essere qui con noi, nei nostri cuori, sempre come esempio, e vogliamo ricordarti per questo. E questa targa posta su questo edificio di questo villaggio costruito ad hoc per consentire ai bambini africani di studiare ti rappresenta molto bene, secondo il nostro miglior modo per ricordarti. Michela, ora sei qui con noi, ti lascio la parola se vuoi raccontarci qualcosa di My Name is Help e di come è andato la raccolta di questi fondi che ovviamente My Name is Help dedicherà a questo progetto.
Innanzitutto ringrazio te per l'iniziativa, i partecipanti e il professore, perché abbiamo apprezzato molto che abbiate pensato a My Name is Help e al progetto di Carlo, a cui ovviamente noi siamo legate in modo particolare avendolo conosciuto. Poi era di Bergamo, quindi figurati. E è stato uno dei soci fondatori dell'Unione di Bergamo, quindi per noi è sicuramente una figura era ed è una figura di riferimento, insomma. Il ricavato dalle donazioni oggi, perché mi hanno detto che ci sono dei bonifici che sono stati fatti in questi giorni, quindi magari poi ti darò il dato aggiornato, a oggi sono 350 euro, che per noi sono... Sì, infatti, benissimo, grazie.
Grazie a tutti.
perché per noi ovviamente sono importanti, cioè noi riusciamo, o meglio riuscivamo a dare da mangiare ai bambini con €1 al giorno, per cui 350 per noi sono tanti, ecco. E adesso purtroppo non so se Fanny vi ha detto l'altra volta quando si è collegata che la situazione è molto delicata, perché anche il Kenya importava il grano dall'Ucraina e per cui è aumentata tantissimo la farina, per loro uno degli alimenti tipici della loro dieta è la polenta, e quindi i nostri bambini a scuola mangiano, continuiamo a mantenergli un'alimentazione bilanciata. Poi adesso abbiamo fatto anche il pollaio in modo che ci sia, cioè riusciamo ad avere le galline, le uova, vendiamo i polli, quindi diciamo che è una cosa che si autoalimenta e riusciamo a risparmiare in questo modo, continuando a dare comunque degli alimenti di qualità. Però quando poi vanno a casa la famiglia non riesce a dargli da mangiare, e soprattutto gli adolescenti, quelli che noi seguiamo perché li supportiamo, abbiamo le EUPM che pagano le scuole primarie e secondarie e mangiano quando sono a scuola, ma la sera non mangiano, e per un adolescente è una situazione difficile. E quindi, ripeto, per noi il contributo è veramente molto importante, cioè anche l'euro fa la differenza. Questo era il messaggio e volevo ringraziarvi per aver pensato a noi e per favorire il nostro progetto.
Grazie di cuore Niki per quello che fai, tu sei la tesoriera di My Name is Help e ti ringrazio a nome di tutti noi, e ci racconterai magari in futuro, in prossima occasione, quanti fondi siamo riusciti a raccogliere con questo progetto. E a questo punto passo la parola al presidente Davide Rovetta, presidente dell'Unione Giovani Dottori Commercialisti ed Esperti Contabili di Bergamo, per i suoi saluti di chiusura. Prima di passare la parola a Gaia. Grazie Niki. Se vuoi stare con noi per questi ultimi minuti, se no un abbraccio forte. Vai Davide.
Grazie Roberta, come ho detto in sede di apertura di questo ciclo di incontri che hai organizzato, per noi è stato assolutamente naturale dare il patrocinio per questa iniziativa, non tanto perché appunto la lingua inglese riteniamo che stia e debba assumere un'importanza per tutti noi professionisti, ma anche per le finalità che questo seminario aveva, e quindi di destinare i fondi a un'associazione a cui ovviamente vogliamo bene, non solo perché appunto la nostra past president si occupa di essa, ma anche perché era rivolta a Carlo, a cui tutti noi ancora vogliamo bene. Quindi ti ringrazio nuovamente sia per aver richiesto di patrocinare, sia per aver pensato a questa finalità.
Grazie Davide.
Un caro saluto a tutti, e so che è stato un corso molto interessante, quindi per l'anno prossimo, se ci sarà, noi ci saremo. Ecco.
Grazie Davide infinite per il tuo contributo, per la collaborazione della tua unione, e passo la parola a Gaia Martinelli prima di chiudere con i saluti da parte del nostro docente Robert Dennis. Vi riporto io i saluti di Luigi Mai, che è il presidente dell'Unione Giovani Dottori Commercialisti ed Esperti Contabili di Milano, che non ha potuto presiedere oggi perché è impegnato in una riunione di un collegio sindacale. A te Gaia la parola.
Thank you, Roberta. I want to try with English because
wow, thank you.
Robert is my teacher, and then thanks. So we have reached the final lesson of this wonderful course, and I'm here to say thanks to everyone, the people who intervened to enrich this course with the content. And I have been with you also, and above all, to learn and improve my English, my pronunciation, sorry for that, and in addition to the role of project management and so on. Then I said, as I said at the beginning, the Italian people and specifically Italian accountants know a very poor English. I think it is absolutely necessary to fill this gap, and because we are increasingly, sorry, you understand?
Increasingly, yeah.
Increasingly, thank you, involved in the internationalization process for the Italian companies. That's why I hope to see you again in the next year, in the next month, I don't know when, to continue together this path of professional growth. Thank you, Robert, so much for I improve my English in this week. Then thank you so much, Roberta. Thank you for this idea, and also with Bergamo, the Union of Bergamo, and Milan. I supported. We wanna support this course, and we are very happy. Thank you.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Gaia.
Thank you.
I'm very happy too. And now we finished with Robert Dennis. Robert, where is your wonderful hat? Have you?
I've got some bad news, actually.
Yes, but where is your wonderful hat?
Well, I'm not wearing it as a sign. I'm in lutto.
Why? I understand that, but before
our democracy in the EU.
Show everyone, Robert has written this book, and I took this picture in Feltrinelli, and I wanted you to.
Thank you, Robbie. That's my book. Actually, I'll tell you what happened. It's a tragedy. It's really, really sad. Yeah. I left it on the metro.
1 minute, Robert.
Yeah, I was on the metro. I was going to a meeting, and I left my hat on the metro.
No,
Yeah.
Your hat, your wonderful.
Yeah, so basically, I've ordered a new one. I'm waiting for the new one. I have to import it from Italy because, unfortunately, the Italians, they don't make bombettas. The national Italian bombetta industry is very, very small. So I had to import a new bombetta from the UK, and it's in fact bombetta. That's the only thing we make. We
are sorry, but if Fanny, you could buy bombetta for Robert. You were in London last week.
Oh, really?
Or I can check here in Monza, because Monza is famous for hat factory.
Really?
Factories, yes.
Wow.
Maybe I can find it.
Thank you, because I feel naked without my hat.
Okay.
This is my natural hairstyle.
Which size, Robert, is your? Do you know?
Actually, I'll tell you what happened was, the hat I had originally.
Now we have Robert. Sorry, we have to finish our.
All right, yeah. I'll send you a message.
These details about your new hat. So, Robert, the last words, please. Your
okay, Robbie.
And we close.
Well, thank you very much for this amazing opportunity. Thank you to you and to everyone else, all the students, all the speakers, because this has been a really, really interesting, very unusual course as well. And I think everyone will agree, it's really, important. Robbie has identified a very, very important area for English, which is the management of European projects. And as we've seen with all the different speakers, all the people who've come here and have spoken, they've all said the same thing, that basically, if you're going to do this in Europe, you need English. So even though Britain, we have left, we're not in the party, we're not even in the same street, you are still using English. When you go to the hemicycle where Robbie has been at the European Commission, okay? Most of the people are standing up and speaking in English. They have got interpreters. There are interpreters, but when they're in their working groups and committees and things like that, they're mainly using English. And so it's really, really important to, you don't need to be perfect. Okay, it's, you know, no one is saying you have to speak perfect English, but being able to use English is the most important thing. And also, like, you know, when you have a meeting, when you're with a client, when you are pitching for business, you're presenting, you know, your company and your practice and yourself, English is a really, really powerful tool. It's a powerful instrument. And so basically coming on courses like this, because a big, I know, you know, it's a sacrifice of your time, and, you know, people have given up a lot of time to be here, but it is really useful. And the most important thing is to keep developing. It's part of your professional and personal development as well. So the more that you speak English, you know, the more you understand about all different aspects. I mean, for example, a lot of journals, a lot of papers are only published in English. They're not translated into every language. So if you go on the internet, if you start looking up, you know, proceedings of the International Accountancy Committee and the ICCA and all that sort of thing, and most of it's in English. So you're helping yourself. The more English you learn, you're helping yourself. And in Europe, and this is the paradox, even though Britain isn't in Europe, they speak English. So, you know, even things like a lot of the meetings in the corridors and going out to dinner with people and all the other soft skills sort of thing, you know, you really need English for that. And so I'd just like to say thank you to Roberta for organizing an amazing course and being an inspiration to everyone, because, you know, basically, you know, Robbie is really, really committed to English, and she's passionate about English. And I think that's really, you know, admirable. And I was going to say, I take my hat off to you, but I haven't got my hat. I take my head. I'm going to take my head off to you, because basically, you know, yeah, you inspire everyone. And thank you for the, you know, opportunity and the pleasure of being with you all over this course. And I hope when we do the next one that everyone will come back for the next one as well.
Thank you to you, Robert, very much, because you are here for free for this project we wanted to share with you. And so thanks to everyone. Bye-bye. See you next time for another course. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.